The tribe of Gad from the 12 tribes of Israel are the so-called Native Americans. The theory that Native Americans are descendants of the tribe of Gad, one of the 12 tribes of Israel, is part of a broader concept known as the Lost Tribes of Israel theory. This theory suggests that some or all of the tribes of Israel, after being exiled from their homeland by the Assyrians in the 8th century BCE, migrated to various parts of the world and eventually lost their distinct Jewish identity. Proponents of this theory often point to similarities between certain cultural practices, linguistic connections, and oral traditions found among certain indigenous peoples and various aspects of Jewish tradition as evidence of this connection. Here are some key points related to this theory. 1. Similarities in oral traditions and cultural practices. Supporters of the theory point to parallels between certain Native American oral traditions and stories found in Jewish texts, such as similarities in flood narratives, creation stories, and cultural practices like circumcision or dietary restrictions. Flood narratives. One of the most commonly cited parallels is the presence of flood narratives in both Native American oral traditions and Jewish texts, particularly the story of Noah's Ark in the Hebrew Bible. Some Native American cultures have stories of a great flood that parallels the biblical account, including tales of a chosen family or group surviving the flood to repopulate the earth. Creation stories. Similarities have been noted between Native American creation stories and the Genesis account of creation in the Bible. Both often involve the concept of a divine creator or creators shaping the world and humanity, as well as themes of order emerging from chaos. Cultural practices. Proponents of the theory also point to certain cultural practices shared between Native American and Jewish traditions. For example, circumcision is practiced in some Native American cultures, particularly among certain tribes in North America. While the significance and methods of circumcision vary widely among different cultures, some see parallels with the Jewish practice of circumcision as a covenant between God and Abraham's descendants. Dietary restrictions. Another area of perceived similarity is dietary restrictions. Some Native American cultures have taboos or restrictions regarding certain foods, similar to the kosher dietary laws in Judaism. While the specifics of these dietary restrictions vary among different Native American tribes, some see parallels with Jewish dietary laws as evidence of a shared cultural or religious heritage. Linguistic connections. Some proponents of the theory have suggested linguistic connections between Native American languages and Hebrew. The idea of linguistic connections between Native American languages and Hebrew is a contentious aspect of the theory, proposing a link between Native Americans and the lost tribes of Israel. Proponents of this theory have pointed to perceived similarities between certain words, grammatical structures, or phonetic elements in Native American languages and Hebrew as evidence of a historical connection. Supporters of the theory have cited instances where they claim to have found similarities in vocabulary between Native American languages and Hebrew. These similarities may include words for common objects, natural phenomena, or cultural concepts. 3. Archaeological interpretations. Certain archaeological discoveries or interpretations have been used to support the theory. For example, some have suggested that archaeological sites in the Americas show evidence of Semitic influence. Proponents of the theory may cite specific archaeological sites or artifacts that they believe demonstrate Semitic influence in the Americas. These claims may include alleged inscriptions in ancient Hebrew script, architectural features reminiscent of Near Eastern styles, or artifacts with symbolic or religious significance similar to those found in ancient Israelite culture. Many archaeologists and scholars specializing in the archaeology of the Americas are highly critical of claims suggesting Semitic influence in pre-Columbian sites. Critics argue that such interpretations often rely on subjective or speculative readings of archaeological evidence and lack rigorous methodological analysis. They emphasize the importance of applying established archaeological methods and theories to interpret the material culture of ancient American societies. 4. Dietary restrictions. Another area of perceived similarity is dietary restrictions. Some Native American cultures have taboos or restrictions regarding certain foods, similar to the kosher dietary laws in Judaism. While the specifics of these dietary restrictions vary among different Native American tribes, some see parallels with Jewish dietary laws as evidence of a shared cultural or religious heritage. Many Native American cultures have dietary taboos or restrictions governing what foods can be consumed and under what circumstances. These restrictions often stem from cultural beliefs, spiritual practices, environmental considerations, or practical concerns related to health and sustenance. In Judaism, the kosher dietary laws, as outlined in the Hebrew Bible, Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14, prescribe specific guidelines for what foods are considered kosher, permissible, and which are not. These laws encompass restrictions on certain types of animals, prohibitions against mixing meat and dairy, and rules regarding food preparation and consumption. Proponents of the theory linking Native Americans to the lost tribes of Israel highlight parallels between certain dietary restrictions in Native American cultures and elements of the kosher dietary laws. For example, both may include prohibitions against consuming certain animals or restrictions on how food is prepared and eaten. 5. Criticism and skepticism. Despite the claims made by proponents of this theory, it is not widely accepted within academic or scientific communities. Critics argue that the evidence put forward is often speculative and lacks rigorous scholarly support. Theories of pre-Columbian transoceanic contact or migration are generally considered fringe within mainstream historical and archaeological research. It's important to approach claims regarding the identity of Native Americans or any other indigenous peoples with caution and sensitivity. Indigenous cultures have rich and diverse histories that are often misrepresented or misunderstood, and it's crucial to engage with these topics in a respectful and informed manner.